I have been waiting for this car for at least 6 months. All right, well, let's see what we got. Oh, that's really bad. We've got a hydrolocked engine. Yeah. Son of a bitch. How do I get myself in these goddamn situations? Fuck this goddamn car. Before you start watching, if you haven't already seen part 1 of the Porsche Panamera rebuild, then click the link attached to this video and go watch it. That way you can find out everything that we've already learned about this car. But, as you can tell already, we've run into a bunch of issues with this thing. Hopefully, we can get this thing turned around and get it headed in the right direction. So stick around to the end of the video and see what the final outcome is. You won't be disappointed. Okay, so now's the moment of truth. It sat over the weekend. We had plenty of high detergent fluid in there, transmission fluid to soak those pistons. If we can't get it to break free now, we're done. We're out 13, 15 grand. We're gonna have to put a new engine in it. There's nothing left that we can do. If we get lucky and we're able to bar that sucker, maybe get it working just a little bit, then I know we'll be able to get it broke free, and then we've got a chance. So this is the moment of truth, baby. Let's see what happens. What are you doing? You already got the socket up there? He's anxious, man. He's ready to go. All right, show me what you can do. Save the day here, man.
Get a crack.
Be my best friend or be my worst enemy.
I feel it moving a little.
Hold on. Let me get a light. Just go back and forth. Oh, look at that. He got a little movement. Oh my gosh, guys. Once you get any movement out of it, that's really good, because then you're gonna get it. You're gonna just go back and forth, and he's gonna get it. The big question mark is gonna be, keep working that bitch. Can we get a full rotation out of it? So if we can get it to run a full rotation, then we know we don't have a bent rod, at least it's bent bad enough that it's creating interference. Usually if you bend a rod, it's twisted pretty bad and the engine won't make it around. Oh, look at that. Look at that, keep going, keep going. Keep going, yeah, baby. He's made it around more than once. He's made it 2 or 3 times at this point. So that's really good. Really good. If we can get it to spin with the starter, that'd probably be the next step, yeah? Spray tranny fluid all over the shop. If we can get it to spin around with the starter, that'll be even better news. You know, there's still all kinds of stuff that can go wrong. We easily could have low compression in one of those cylinders because of the rust on the cylinder wall, or where one of the piston rings is stuck up in there and won't, you know, expand and contract like it needs to run along the wall right. That's a long ways off. Let's just see if we can get the thing spinning now. So we've got the spark plugs out and there's tranny fluid in there, so it's gonna spray this fluid all over the place. So prevent from making a mess and getting tranny fluid all over the Porsche paint.
Can I do the honor?
Oh.
I think the keys on me. If anything, we blame it on you.
Oh, shit. All right, yeah, I want to do it. Okay, I'm gonna try to crank it. 3, 2, 1. Sounds pretty good. Oh my gosh, that thing sounded great. I mean, that sounded really good. I mean, I don't know what to say. We might get really lucky on this one. So we put the plugs back in?
We'll have to put the plugs in and then put those 2 tubes on.
Oh, we need to connect the intercoolers back up too.
Yeah.
Get those hoses hooked up back down there. All right, we got some work ahead of us. All right, Billy's got all the plugs back in it. You can see where all the tranny fluid is leaking down here, so we got to get this wiped up. He just finished putting both of the intercooler tubes back on, and now he's putting the belt back on the front of the engine. So we're about ready to lower it down and try to start it. I don't know if I should be excited or not. I mean, if this thing starts, of course, that'll be great, but it's like, is it gonna have a tick? Is it gonna have low compression somewhere? Is it gonna have this or that, you know? But still, if it starts, that'll be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just getting the freedom. Yeah. All right, here we go.
There.
Are you a genius?
Good man.
Now turn it. Yeah. There.
All right, good job, Billy. Moment of truth. All right, put her down. We hooked up some exhaust fans because I'm being the eternal optimist that it's actually gonna start. Let's see what we got. Calm down, brother, calm down. All right. All right, I'm gonna crank it. Here goes, 3, 2, 1. That was impressive. We don't have enough power because it's like the dash is shutting off.
If you can open the trunk, maybe you can put put it in the battery direct.
All right, it's a big one. We got something that big?
Yep.
Yeah.
What's going on? Give me a There's literally a bolt holding on a styrofoam block. I've never seen anything like that in my life. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go. Abracadabra, abracadabra, wallaka bazing. Here we go. Man, that thing sounded really good. When it ran there for about a second, that sounded really, really, really good.
We need them to heat up so the rings work.
I know, but I didn't hear it knocking.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give it a little gas this time. Is it smoking? Oh, it's smoking. Woo! I can't believe it. Talk about raising it from the dead. It's like a graveyard or something. Yeah, it's like spooky. There's smoke coming out from around the ghost. All right, I'm gonna run it again. This time, hopefully let it run a little longer, see if we can actually get it hot, get it up to operating temperature. The smoke is gone. Wow, the smoke is gone? Okay. And it's pretty much idling now too. I don't know what to believe. Is this really happening? Like, I think we have a good engine. So we've got a misfire. I'm having to keep my foot on the accelerator to keep the engine from dying. So there's a couple options. One is that we've just got a fouled out spark plug because of the tranny fluid that we had in there and the rust and the water getting on the spark plug itself, which would be just creating the misfire. What's more likely is that we have got a piston ring that is frozen and not expanding like it should, and therefore we've got low compression in 1 or 2 or 3 of the cylinders. The way to fix that is to just let the engine get hot and then let it cool off, and then let it get hot and then let it cool off, and just keep that cycle up 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And usually just the heating and cooling will allow that piston ring to unfreeze and get the compression back. If not, worst case scenario would be that we actually have a scored up cylinder wall, and if that's the case, there's nothing we can do. So we'll probably replace all the spark plugs, let it heat and cool, see if we can get rid of this misfire. We have now drained the oil out of it and have put in 8 more quarts of 0W30 that this engine calls for. The thing I'm looking for on these cycles of heating and cooling and changing the oil is 2 things. One is hopefully we're going to get the compression back and we're going to lose that misfire by heating and cooling and getting those piston rings to break free. The second thing I'm looking for is the vent that's in the filler cap to be free of any moisture. We've cleaned it out, got all the remnants of anything out of it, so we know we're good and clean now. Next time, I'm gonna keep checking that vent, and if there's any little moisture or white hazy stuff in there, we're gonna change the oil. We'll keep changing the oil every heat and cool cycle until that vent is perfectly clear. Now what I'm gonna do this time, last time it wasn't working that great because it's got dual exhaust. So I'm gonna take a rag and stuff it in the other side, so hopefully we can catch all of the smoke through the ventilation system. Man, that thing sounds good. And it's running on its own. I'm not even touching the throttle right now. It's literally idling just fine.
All them heat cycles, that's exactly how it breaks itself free.
And that's only after 1 cycle. It's still got a little bit of a miss, but gosh, way better. So basically what I'm doing is waiting for the cooling fans to turn on because they will cycle on when the engine is hot. They're not on yet. It's on. The fan is that quiet. Wow. Let's see what we've got.
Building back up.
Very little, but there's a little bit right there. All right, let it cool off, do another oil change, put everything back together. The next time we're gonna let it get hot, we're gonna actually take it out on the road and drive it. See what other faults we find. So we let her sit. We hurry up and wait. All right, we've got the 3rd oil change done, got 8 more quarts of our 030 full synthetic in there, and Billy has put it all back together for us. We got the strut brace back across the top of the engine. We got the engine cover on. We got the 2 side braces in. We got all the paneling on the front of the engine. Guess what that means? You got it. I get to take this bad boy for a spin. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not really gonna get on it. We're just gonna go up and down the street here, see how it sounds, see what's going on with the suspension and any of the other error messages I'm getting. And who knows, maybe I might have a little fun with it. But at any rate, this is our first time to get to take this thing on the road, so kind of excited. Let's see what she does. Let's see what I do. I'm sure I'll be under control. All right, so Joe has stopped me. He claims I'm getting the cart before the horse before the cart, or something like that. I don't know. He wants to hook his scan tool up to it real quick and clear out all the codes and see what's still active before I go ripping and running up the road. So let's see what we find. It's finished. It's finished. All right, let's see what we got, Joe. All the misfires are
I
gone.
don't see nothing.
Of course, we got to run it to get those back. All right, so I now have permission, but this means I can go faster.
Yeah.
One up, first one up.
Yep, it is.
Is it really?
Yeah, up in the rear, going up now.
Here we go, baby. We still only have an electronic parking brake error. Status temporary, driving permitted. If that's the only error message, let's roll this bad boy. Oh my gosh. I mean, I just can't believe this. Is this just amazing? The transmission works, the power steering works, the brakes are working. And I just can't believe how this car is doing. I tell you, Saint Gaetano must be on my side today, because this is just amazing. We're gonna go down the street and see if it shifts gears. And it's smooth. Smooth shifts. We're already in 5th gear and the car's shifting just fine. Damn, that is some serious smoke. I think with high confidence that is still the transmission fluid that got down into the exhaust, heating up and blowing out. I'm not that worried about it, but I am the eternal optimist.
It's 2025. Do you not know smoking is bad for your health?
Yes, it is, but I was having fun. If that's any consolation, I was having a lot of fun. I kind of want to go drive it again. I can't believe we don't have a check engine light. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see if we can raise and lower the suspension. Now, let's see what we do here. Now we got a new error. We now have an error, chassis system fault, visit workshop. All right, we're up to 2 errors now. And that was from me taking it out of sport mode. I'm not gonna drive anymore. That needs to get looked at. All right, let's get it pulled around back. We'll get it in a parking spot until we can get it back in the shop and figure out what's going on. Billy!
Sir.
Tell me about my fucking Porsche, man. I wanna take this thing out on the road.
All right, you can go for it. There's nothing wrong with it.
God, I love you. You were the man. Nothing wrong with it? You mean
Nothing
nothing?
but
Like you fixed all the other lights too?
Yes, sir.
Shit, now I know
I
you're
just
lying
press a
too.
button and everything gone.
What's this, the rear diff?
Yes, sir.
Man, that thing looks great.
Come to the tranny.
That's the tranny there? Oh, nice. Dude, that's awesome.
Yes, sir.
You know how much that tranny fluid would have been to flush that system out? Not only that, you just don't want water getting in your trannies. They create problems down the road.
Last but not least.
Yeah, the front diff. Gosh, they all look great.
Yep.
Okay. Man, that's encouraging. Oh, here comes Negative Nelly. Joe has to show up to our party. Would you bring the rain with you? You brought the thunderstorms? What?
I gotta look at the suspension stuff. And then I gotta fix stupid things like this height adjuster's broken.
Joe, always crashing down on our party, bringing us a dose of reality. Okay, on a serious note, let's take a look at this ride height adjuster that Joe's talking about. It is broken off, and you can see here, this is a ride height sensor. It's an electrical device with a mechanical arm that's attached to the control arms that tells the car how high that suspension is. And it is disconnected, it's completely off. The forklifts get in here and they let the suspension travel further than it should have, and it just pops them off the ball. So let's get this one on and put it back on the ground and see what we got.
Yeah. Clear the
Sounds like a plan. All right, let's get it done. All right, Billy got the ride height sensor connected back on the control arm. Joe came in here with the Autel and cleared all the codes back out of it. So now I'm gonna start the car and back it up here in the middle of the shop and then see if the suspension will go up and down or if we get the error message back again. So let's see what we got. I do not have an error message. I don't have an error message. I have a TPMS fault, but who cares? Wow. All right, let's back it up. Okay, so I'm gonna hit the button, the moment of truth. Everything's clear now. Here we go. The front's going up. The front's going up. The front's going up, baby. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. This is great. The front went up, the back went down, and I didn't get any error messages. This can't be true. There's no way I'm that lucky. It's sitting right. I'm taking this thing for a spin. I am back, I am back. I don't know what to say. I just drove this thing and it is literally perfect. I don't know what to say. It's like the resurrection of the dead here. I'm taking this whip home. Hopefully no drama. I get to have fun. We'll see how it goes. St. Jude, helper of the hopeless, thank you. Thank you for answering our prayers. I don't know how else to say it. This car is perfect. She's ready to go to detail. I can't believe I'm standing here today saying this. What a roller coaster of a week we've had on this car, but none of the error messages came back in the cluster. I went through every electrical system on this car, tried everything. It all works. It's perfect. She's ready to go to detail. Let's get it out of here and get it shined up. Life is good. The Batmobile is back from detail and she is looking sexy. I love this car. Great look to it. The guys over there did a good job. I just can't believe that we are here today, just 2 weeks after we brought this car in, saying that it's ready to go to the sales lot. When she showed up, it was flood damaged. The engine was hydrolocked with water. The suspension was slammed down on the ground. The brakes were all locked up. And here we are. It's purring like a kitten. There's no codes. She's gone from villain to superhero. Now all that's left to do is take a look at the numbers. Wow, what an emotional week. You were talking about some highs and lows. This was a crazy week. But here we are in front of the board talking about the numbers. It doesn't get any better than that. On our 2018 Porsche Panamera Sport Turismo. I got that car for $20,300 US dollars. But by the time we paid the Copart fees, that $20,000 turned into $21,652. And then there was this little line item that the Canadians like to stick in there that we don't have to deal with up here called HST, taxes. They charged us $2,836. And then we had to wait over 6 months to get the title. That storage was not cheap. It comes at a price of $2,700. Now we were able to get the car shipped down here pretty reasonably through customs across the border all the way down here to our parking lot for just $1,300. So that was nice. And then the labor wasn't bad. All said and done, we only had $800 into labor on it. We had a bunch of oil changes, again, not much. Everything else on the car was fine. We spent $300 on parts, that's it. Another $250 for our detailing guy. All said and done, we had $29,938 in the car. But this car has a 83 days on market. So we'll only get around 77% of market for it. The car books out at $45,500. So when you apply the 77%, that means we're going to be asking $33,500 for it. At the end of the day, we'll probably sell it for around $33,000, which brings us a net of $3,000. Thank the good Lord, we got that engine running and everything ended up being okay. Lesson learned here is when you want to do business up north, be prepared to open your wallet. We got our 4-door 911 on the road, over to the sales lot. Thanks for watching to the end. If you like this kind of content, be sure to like and subscribe. I'm Matt Ryan, and this was another episode of Northern Kentucky Auto.